Trojans Live on this Monday, Spring Football Edition. We'll talk about all that's going down, what's the latest, as we get ready
for
the fall season of USC college football. Plus, cover the rest of the behind-the-scenes insights and breaking news from the student athletes who play for the Cardinal and Gold. Trojans Live is presented by Monster Energy. Monster Energy, unleash the beast. Unleash the beast. Now live from Los Angeles, inside Heritage Hall. Now with Sean Cody and Cody Kessler, here is your host, Jordan Moore.
Hello and welcome to Trojans Live, presented by Monster Energy on ESPN LA 710 across the USC Trojans Media Network. I am Jordan Moore alongside the All-American Sean Cody, our quarterback Cody Kessler, and we are joined tonight for the first time by Chad Savage, USC's new tight ends coach. Our coach interview is presented by I Trust Capital, the official crypto platform of the USC Trojans. Thank you, Coach, for joining us. Welcome officially from us to the Trojan family. You've been out there though at spring practice, been here for a little while. Ultimately, what was what drew you to USC?
It was a no-brainer when I saw that phone call come in. First got a call from Luke Heward, just kind of briefing me, almost playing the 21-question game. Had some more conversations the next day. Had the chance to interview with Coach Riley, and when I got that offer, I didn't even blink twice. I accepted that, and I was out here 36 hours later.
Coach, first thing that kind of popped up when you got the job here was Southern California guru recruiter. How does one become a guru of recruiting in Southern California? It seemed like a young guy. I mean, that's a pretty good title there to get a young age there.
No, I appreciate that. I've just been fortunate to have Southern California at the last few stops, and I just think you got to do your due diligence and you got to give everybody the time of day, and that's from every school. It could be an inner city school that plays a lesser level of football. It could be a Trinity League school, and you got to go in there. You got to spend quality time with these guys, and you got to ask people on who they think's good on opposing teams. You can't just walk into a building and say, who do you have? You might have say, hey, when you guys played this school, who stood out on their roster? And they're going to tell you everything. And you got to do your homework. You got to put in the time, and if you're diligent with your evaluations and you see something, you got to believe in it. Because I think a lot of schools nowadays, they recruit off other offers. Yep. Oh, just because Michigan offered, we got to offer them. No. If you see something, you got to stand on the table and go after it.
That happened a lot while I was here, when I was getting recruited and all of that. Kind of sticking with that, how important is it as a top recruiter, not only recruit the player, but recruit his family as well? You got to do it. Because we talk about it's like a track race. The family's passing the baton to me, and now it's my job to continue what they're doing.
How have the fundamentals of recruiting, though, changed in the NIL era, right? I mean, this used to just be entirely a relationship business, and that's what made someone a great recruiter, their ability to, sort of convince someone to come to your school. Now everything's changed.
I think it has changed, but it really hasn't. At the end of the day, it is a relationship-driven business because one school might offer this amount, another school might offer this amount, but you still have to have the relationship with the person on a personal level because they got to be comfortable showing up to work every single day playing for you, and they got to understand your vision. They got to understand how you operate that meeting room. They got to understand your energy on the field, and so you still got to have that relationship. If guys want to chase the dollar sign, it's probably not going to work out anyways.
Recruiting a big part of your job, but also you got to coach those guys up on the field. You got the tight ends and the inside receivers. How do you kind of break up the time management doing those groups?
Really coaching all of them as a whole. There's going to be days where the inside receivers are going to get a little more coaching. And there might be days where tight ends are going to get a little more coaching. Kind of just depends what we're doing with our script. You've seen we've had the injury bug the last few days, and so there might be more 12 personnel. There might be 11 personnel as we get guys back, and some of the tight ends got hurt. But really just having all them understand the complete picture of the game, because some of the coaching points for the tight end in the run game are going to help those guys understand the complete picture, understand identifications, who's working to who, and then the coaching points in the pass game for the inside receivers are going to be the same as the tight ends when they're flexed out in the slot.
Sticking with tight ends, a guy that I'm looking forward to see his development is Walker Lyons, a young player. What excites you the most? I know it's been a short time getting to work together, but what excites you most about your young tight end?
He's got the coachability. He's got amazing ball skills. He's a willing blocker in the run game, so just really to fine-tune some of the technique really in this pass game right now. Like him and I just spent some time out there understanding some top of the routes, understanding leverage, and if we can clean that stuff up, he's going to be a hell of a player.
Take us through the rest of the room.
We got a lot of guys. I mean, you got the inside guys, you got the tight ends. So which room do you want to focus on right now?
Start with tight ends.
Okay, so tight ends, you got Lake McCree, who's a veteran in the room, and another complete tight end. And I know this is his last year, and he wants to make it a memorable year. And so I'm just trying to help him achieve everything he wants, but reminding him it's all about the Trojans. And we've got goals we want to achieve, but he's a great guy on and off the field. He sets the tone in terms of physicality standpoint. And same thing with him in the pass game. We're just going to fine-tune some of the details, understanding routes, leverage, and we'll definitely take a step forward in that.
What about your journey, Coach? How did you get here? Like, obviously you're going to. Oh, coaches are always trying to get to the next level. What does your journey look like so far? How'd you get here?
Two guys I'm really so thankful for. Guy Dale Lindsey, former head coach at University of San Diego, and then Jay Norvell, the current head coach at Colorado State. I was a young coach, and they both gave me chances. And I just believe if you do the right job, people are going to
get noticed.
Exactly. Yeah. People are going to notice that, and they're going to respect your work, and every day is an interview. And so I just showed up, did my job to what I believe I was capable of doing, and I think it got noticed from a recruiting standpoint and also from a production standpoint with some of the players I've been fortunate to coach.
Going back to the tight end room a little bit and being a former quarterback, I got a lot of respect for those guys. It takes a special mindset, right? Because you got to do the dirty work of an offensive lineman, go out there and block, and you don't get nearly as many targets as a wide receiver. So you're somewhere in between. What's your approach when coaching that group? What kind of mindset do you want your guys to have when they take the field on Saturdays?
I just tell them you got to make up your mind that you're going to make the play. And as soon as you shift your mindset that you're going to make the play, the decision's made. And so whether you're got to win a block at the point of attack in the run game or you got to win a one-on-one route, if you make up your mind, you're going to have success. But if guys just kind of tippy-toe out there and they're hesitant, you're not going to have success. And so right now it's changing that mentality, but I also want guys that are going to put their face in the fan and they're going to be physical.
And that's I'm sure we don't have any on this roster, but is that where if you're not willing to block, you're not playing for me?
100%.
Love that.
Yeah. And I think sometimes it gets lost nowadays, but the game of football is still won on the fundamentals of blocking and tackling.
Yeah.
And so I want opposing teams, when they turn on the film at USC, they see my two position groups saying, okay, these guys know how to block, and they're going to strain the defender.
You're listening to USC's new tight end and inside receivers coach Chad Savage here on Trojans Live. The last name people might know, your uncle is John Savage. He's big-time legendary baseball coach over at UCLA. So when we get to the breakdown now at Thanksgiving in the family, how many Trojans we got? How many Bruins we got? What's the breakdown in the Savage family right now?
My blood is all Trojans.
That's the way it should be.
Good answer.
And I think some people in the spring, they might be wearing some Bruin blue, but I'm all Trojan.
Did you talk to him at all when you took this? Did he give you a hard time about it?
Yeah, I actually rely on him a lot through my coaching journey just because of what he's done and how much success he's had. Obviously, he's been at a lot of different spots. He's had success. He's had losing seasons. He's had winning seasons, and he's a mentor to me. But you look at when he was my age, he was actually at USC coaching under Mike Gillespie. Yeah. So it's pretty special.
Had some pretty good pitchers in that time, if I recall correctly. So, yeah, he knew what he was doing. we probably should have done a better job trying to keep him, maybe in hindsight, but different conversation for a different day.
Yeah, what's it been like working with Lincoln Riley daily? Obviously you probably had an expectation coming into this, but then you get to be with him, working daily with him. What's it been like?
This job's all about the people, and he's an amazing leader in all aspects. His confidence, he's calm, cool, collected, and the way he operates on a daily basis, he's detail-driven, but he's just very confident in how he operates the entire team room, the entire offense, and I think that trickles down to the way our culture is here at USC. But he's composed, he has a vision, and now it's our job to articulate that and just keep getting better every single day.
Yep. You've been at San Diego before and then Colorado State, obviously. What's it been like being back in Southern California, stepping away from football a little bit? Does it make the recruiting a little bit easier with the resources we have around us?
Yeah, not only the resources, but the logo.
Yeah.
People know what USC is, and there's so much history and tradition behind this program. It's just special to walk into a school or to walk into a family's house with these colors on in this logo.
It's almost like giving him superpowers now, right? With what he's been able to do at other places, and now you get the USC logo. That's awesome.
No, I'm excited for sure.
When Coach Riley came in, he broke it down this way with the outside receivers coach, or maybe Coach Simmons' title is just receivers coach, and then there's inside and tight end, which is the title that you have now. And so that's sort of new to us and probably new to a lot of the people watching. I'm curious, when you take, certain receivers will line up inside and outside. So a guy like Mekhi Lemon, I'm assuming at some point he'll line up in the slot and won't just be outside. Do you work with him on those routes? Is it all Coach Simmons with Mekhi because he's part of that room? How does that breakdown work?
Coach Simmons and I work hand in hand together on everything. You look at our wide receiver individual drills, it's all together as an entire unit inside and outside. And so with the formation variations that we have, an inside guy could end up playing outside, an outside guy could end up playing inside. So we essentially just have to see eye to eye, and we got to speak the same language on everything we do. And that's why Coach Riley's so great coordinating this offense, because we're very detailed and everyone's going to be on the same page, and you have to be.
How's that quarterback room looking? You guys are working with the wide receivers and the tight ends. How's the Jada Mayavas coming along, Longstreets? How are those guys come along as quarterbacks?
Two great players with a ton of talent, a ton of upside. They carry themselves the right way as a quarterback. I mean, everybody knows the quarterback's got to be the leader of the offense, but the way they conduct themselves on and off the field, everybody respects them, but they always have that itch to get better. Now it's just building that chemistry with the pieces around them.
One guy that I've been very high on, and I think he falls in that inside receiver category. I think that's where he's going to make his money, Xavier Jordan. I was very impressed with him last spring. Got a little bit of buried on the depth chart with some of the talented guys that were here, but now that third wide receiver spot kind of opens up. What do you expect to see from Jordan this year?
I had a relationship with DJ prior to me getting to USC because I recruited him a little bit at Colorado State, and I think the biggest thing for DJ is just being consistent with his approach. Can he be the same person every single day? And can he understand the little details of what it takes in the weight room, what it takes in the meeting room, what it takes on the practice field? And if he can be consistent with that every single day, DJ's going to be a very special player, because you guys see the flashes, whether it's on social media or whether you're at practice, you see the playmaking ability he has. And so super excited to work with him and Coach Simmons and just to help him achieve all of it he wants.
Well, it's great to have you, Coach. Thanks for joining us. Looking forward to seeing your unit out there in the Coliseum field this fall. Ready to take it to the next level? Unleash the beast this college tailgate season with Monster Energy. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet, Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. We're about to unleash the beast next. Coming up next, we have Jamaal Jarrett. He's going to make Sean Cody look small. Coming up on Trojans Live.
Over spring football once again with Sean Cody and Cody Kessler. Back to Jordan Moore.
USC fans can win a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home in Temecula Valley. They just play slots or table games at Pechanga Resort Casino through May 30 to earn entries. Visit Pechanga.com or call 888-PECHANGA for details. Hey, Trojan fans, did you know the Ralph's app gives you easy access to weekly sales and personalized coupons? You can earn fuel points to check out the app today and save while you cheer us on to another great season. Ralph's proud partner of USC Athletics. So we're doing a little pivot here. We're waiting on the big fella Jamaal Jarrett, who's coming up. But right now I've got Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Cody Kessler, and Keely Yore. And we're going to talk about him before he gets in the room.
Of course.
Because we promised, as we said last week, we broke down the offense a little bit. This week we would break down the defense. And it does seem like the defensive line loading up on size, Sean, seems to be like the big offseason plan.
Yeah, we're going to talk to Big Jarrett, Jamaal Jarrett. He's a heck of a big guy. I got a chance to check out practice on Saturday. We had a big alumni event. I don't know why Cody didn't pop through on Saturday.
You got the practice?
Everyone got the email. Yeah, it was a big thing for alumni to show up. We had Ronnie Lott in the building.
I was watching the Masters.
Willie McGinnis. I mean, there's some legends. Darnell Bing was out there.
You didn't invite your co-host? You didn't tell him?
He got the email. He was on the email chain. I saw his name.
Yeah,
so it must have went to his spam.
Cody!
It's Masters Saturday. I love you. I'm here 4 times a week.
It ends on Sunday, but whatever. So I was out there working for the school, you know what I mean? So,
yes.
But D-line looks huge. You got a lot of big guys. Silver was out there. He's got a little knee injury, but he's out there, big body. Dev Tompkins was out there. He looks like he's put on some size. Stewart, the young guy, moves around real well. Big guy. So really impressed with the size they got. And you can add that to the guys you got coming back. Kobe Pepe, who's out there looking physical. So just a lot of meat out there on the field. A lot of big guys ready to play some Big Ten football, I think.
Jarrett at 350, Silver at 330, Jakeem Stewart playing DN. This is a DN at 290.
Yeah, and I watch him line up at every position during pass rush drill. Love to see that. Love to see him at the nose guard to the defensive end, working all his moves. So they're gonna use him in a lot of ways, I think.
Yeah, and that matters, right? I know the intimidation factor and the eye test and all of that. Okay, you got to go out there and prove it on the field. But I promise, as an opposing quarterback, you walk out and see Jamaal Jarrett and Keyshawn Silver and Kobe Pepe and all those guys. It is intimidating, because you're looking at those guys, and especially throughout the week in the film room, how are we going to protect against these guys? How are we going to be able to run inside zone with 600 pounds in the middle on a shade and a 3-tech? Stuff matters.
700 pounds.
Yeah, 700. I'm sorry. But it's cool, too, and I'm so excited about the young guys, just to see them continue to develop. We talked about it early on, about them getting thrown in the fire last year because of injuries. They struggled at times. It's tough to go play in the Big Ten, right, as a young player, when you don't really know what your skill set quite is. You don't know what you have in your toolbox because you're learning on the fly. That is going to help them so much this year. And then the other guy I said is Kobe Pepe. I don't want him to be a forgotten name. It is so important to have veterans in this room.
And it does seem like the Big Ten of it all is a big part of the adjustment here.
1,000%. We talked about it last year, but they tried to emphasize in the weight room big gains, quote unquote, because you need to be, you need to block the middle. You got to stuff the middle. I know that was the issue that we talked about last year. They definitely wanted to emphasize that you will not pass through. And we talked to the linebackers a lot. They said, and even the safeties, they're like, it's a difference. We can tell. Sometimes we mess up on the back end, but the front has us in that sense. So it's been interesting to hear that.
You could hide it in the Pac-12. You could, if you didn't have a great offense defensive line, you could hide it sometimes with some skill players on the outside. The Big Ten, you can't get away with that.
Yeah, I mean, the first half of the schedule, I remember last year, it just felt like no one was throwing the ball.
Yeah.
And it was just simply the style of the opponent. It wasn't even necessarily USC. It opened up as the season went on a little bit in some of the opponents. So there still is a mix of opponents. And so as you go down a tier to that linebacker level, we talked to Coach Ryan last week. He made it basically clear, it seems like he knows who his two guys are, at least to start things. We know how important Eric Gentry is. I think it's that spot next to him that'll be really interesting to see. Desmond Stevens clearly has the lead in that category. A lot of people talking about Jaden Walker, though, as another guy to watch.
Yeah, this Anthony Beavers was out there. Looked like he put on some weight as well. So they got some guys. You run out Gentry, you run out Desmond Stevens. Those are two good-looking athletes to run out there in the field. So, and you throw a Kamari Ramsey out there. You throw, it just looks like a real nice-sized football team. Visually, it looks good out there, and you can see that Eric Gentry, I think he's ready to have another breakout season because he got, unfortunately, last year didn't go the way he wanted with injuries and stuff. But I think, you have him out there. He's a difference maker on defense.
Yeah.
It's worth noting, though, that the spring portal window does open in 2 days on the 16th, and that is somewhere where Coach Riley identified there is depth issues when it comes to linebackers, and he said, we don't think we're going to be super active, but if we are, it is for those linebackers because, with Eric Gentry, such a game changer on the field, but health is a concern. So they want to make sure that they have depth in that room. Yeah,
that made me feel a lot better that Coach Riley acknowledged that. Right, and like you said, Eric Gentry would have been an All-American in my opinion if he stayed healthy. The way that he was playing, but you have Eric Gentry, you have Desmond Stevens, who I think is going to be a breakout star on the defensive side of the football. We talked about Jaden Walker. I think he's playing well. Then you have Anthony Beavers go from that safety to linebacker spot. He's still a hybrid type player, a Deion Bailey, a Sua Cravens. Now, I'm not putting him in that category, but that's the body type he has. We need more depth in that position group, whether it's a veteran that's a proven player, whether you go get a younger guy that has a lot of potential and a lot of upside. We just had to add two more guys because even if Gentry and Stevens play majority of the snaps, you have to have different packages. You can't run them out there every single time, and God forbid an injury happens, and then we're in panic mode like last year with Eric Gentry, some of those guys going down. You can't have one or two players get hurt and your entire position group isn't going to go out there and be able to perform.
That was my takeaway, though, looking at safety, but it does seem like they're very high on Christian Pierce as a guy that maybe could be that big depth piece for them because they went out and got Bishop Fitzgerald to play alongside Kamari Ramsey. So you do have really two experienced players there. But again, I mean, we know this is football. It's like you never know what position it's going to be, but you can just never have enough guys.
Christian Pierce is someone who stood out to me as a true freshman. He's a guy who you can hear him hit on the field no matter where you are. He has that fierceness. I'm not going to compare him to Taylor Mays, but Taylor Mays was very high on him when we talked to him about his evaluation. He's a guy who from the start has a nose for the football, and they just needed him to get his comfortability with the playbook. That was the biggest thing for him. So it sounds like he's getting there. Riley said he's made the most growth over the offseason and that he's kind of almost become a leader. He described him as an alpha type. So that's someone who I would earmark as look out for him in the secondary.
Yeah, I was watching Ronnie Lott and Darnell Bing break down the safety room. I thought that was a pretty cool experience.
Watching those two guys to talk to
watching
about
those guys talk over there I saw how they're watching the safety, so they're pretty good company out there.
The corner room seems a little bit more like guys they want to develop. They brought in DJ Harvey, who's got a lot of playing experience, but otherwise it's a lot of guys that have been here that, again, this sport still comes down to coaching. You're not just, plucking pieces out like it's a video game.
Yeah, Marcellus Williams is the first guy that stands out. Yep. Younger brother, Max Williams, and another guy that flashed last spring, got buried a little bit on the depth chart. But we've lost so many guys in that position group that it's frustrating right now who's the next guy up? Another guy I love, Prophet Brown, and I've been high on him before. But yeah, DJ Harvey, if you guys haven't seen it, go put on his tape at San Jose State. He is... I know it's not quite the Power 4 conference. I know it's not quite the Big Ten, but he has all of the makings of a lockdown cover corner. I think he can come in and have a big impact on this defense.
DeCarlos Nicholson also back. He played a bunch of football, really experienced players. So there's some guys certainly in that room, but I'm interested to see how the secondary plays out and ultimately when adversity hits and a couple of these levels, as you guys talked about, what's that second line look like at all these spots? So we will see. The front line, though, Jamaal Jarrett leads the way, and he is next. When you've got good beer and good vibes, it's all Buena Stone Buena Vesa Salt Lime Lager is Baja inspired and imported from San Diego, located near you at find.stonebrewing.com. And Fight on Trojans and Fly On with ONT. Ontario International Airport is a proud sponsor of our USC Trojans. Visit SoCalSoEasy.com to book your journey through ONT today. More Trojans Live coming up.
Pachanga Resort Casino.
We're back with Trojans Live.
It's a touchdown, USC.
This is Trojans Live on this, getting you ready for the USC football season all over spring football. Once again, with Sean Cody and Cody Kessler. Back to Jordan Moore.
The best of the game is brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of USC Athletics, helping the world keep promises. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Cody Kessler, and we keep our promises here. We got Jamaal Jarrett sitting in the big seat. Yeah. Welcome, big fella. Redshirt sophomore, defensive tackle. You transfer here from Georgia. What brings you to USC? What was what ultimately decided for you?
Well, really, the two leading factors for me were, Coach Henney and who could develop me the most. And I feel like Coach Henney could develop me the most as far as, like, the experience he had in the league and the great staff that he has with Coach Sky and then Coach Noah and his background. So I feel like they would take my game on a different level and help me work on certain things I need to work on.
Yeah, tell us about Coach Henney. Obviously, I was out at practice on Saturday, got to see you guys working a lot on a bunch of drills, and he obviously knows his stuff, coaches great players in the NFL. What makes him such a special defensive line coach?
I really just like the energy he brings, how he carries himself as a person, and even outside of
Dog
football.
work.
You feel me? The dog work. And even outside of the field, like, he just helps us become better men. He shows us how to problem solve in different situations. He's big on team bonding. He'll the D-line go out and do something together. Yeah. So, like, just even as a man, as a human being, like, he's a good role model.
All right, now correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I've heard a rumor that you now go by Little Jaw and Joaquin Stewart is now Big Jaw. Is that true, or did I hear it wrong?
Not at all. Not at all.
But sticking with that, how cool is it to build that camaraderie with the guys here, being two new guys and having that connection with the guys in your room?
Well, me and Joaquin, we kind of go way back.
Okay.
He was contacting me when I was at Georgia.
Yeah.
He was a recruit. And, me being his player host and stuff like that, like, he's a really good cat. He wants to learn. He's really eager to learn as much as he can, and he's still a little job, but he's a great learner, and him and his class are gonna do good. So.
Well, Big Jaw, we got you listed on the roster at 349.
Yes, sir.
Hold up.
You don't want to. Why don't we just round that up to 350? Or are you trying to go the other way?
I'm going the other way.
So it's like
I'm a unit regardless. So, that's
we put 350 behind us.
Yes,
where do you want to go? Ultimately, what's your strength and conditioning program?
Really, the goals, like with Coach Wiley and Miss Rachel and nutrition, like, they've really been working with me. It's really been comfortable with them. I'm being real transparent with them. They're being transparent with me. They're helping me become the best I could be as far as making different habits on my nutrition diets and stuff like that.
Talk about some of the guys in your room. I've seen you out there working with Kobe Pepe, with Silver. Seemed like you guys already have a good camaraderie with each other. What's it like working with the big fellas in the middle there?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Me and Kobe kind of snapped automatically. Like, he seen me come in, and he was just like, "Let's watch film." I was like, "Yes, sir." So he's kind of been that big brother role for me, especially giving me a good example for me to, look at how the nose is played in the Big Ten and stuff like that. So really, I've just been taking notes off of Kobe as much as I can. And as far as Keyshawn Silver, me and him go way back to when I was like almost 14 as a recruit. Like, he was my host at USC, Chapel Hill. So, that was my guy then.
Yeah.
He's my guy now. It's just like, it's crazy how the world brings, like, different situations back up, So it's a small world. I'm seeing people, familiar faces out of school all the way in California. So I'm like,
on the west side there.
Yeah, this is cool. This is cool, though. So.
It makes that transition a lot easier, too.
Yeah,
guys
So in with so fast.
From North Carolina, correct? Okay, so then you go to Georgia. Mm-hmm. What's it been like living in Los Angeles, living in Southern California? Is it everything you thought it would be, like you see on TV? How's it been, the adjustment period?
There's no grass out here. I'm used to the grass, the trees, the deer running around, but it's nice out here.
No fields, huh? No fields out here.
There's nice beaches out here, though.
You go to the beach? Are you a big beach guy or no?
Big beach guy. It's cool. Like real chill. But like down there, I only went to like Myrtle Beach or Virginia Beach. But out here, you got like 5 different beaches 20 minutes away.
Yeah. You're listening to Jamaal Jarrett on Trojans Live. You're rocking the Zero.
Agent Zero.
They just brought that in a few years ago. What's the story behind your number?
Really, just a restart, refresh. Started back from ground zero. 0 to 100 again. So I'm restarting. This is my restart here in Cali. My restart with a reset number. So. But really, 55 is retired. I love my 55. my double nickel with it.
Well, 55 isn't retired. No, that's 55 is just a legacy number.
Legacy.
I'm trying to get him to, get it back into circulation.
Jordan's been pushing for that for a while.
One big season away, man. Back to the 55.
I like it.
Have you met Willie McGinnis yet?
No.
meet Willie McGinnis. You want to get 55. That's the direction to go down because those Junior Seau, Willie McGinnis, Chris Claiborne, those are the guys that own the legacy.
He looks good in the zero though. I saw him out there, man. That zero,
like the zero.
You look slim in that thing, man. You look like 343 in that thing. It was real slender on you, man. Talk about North Carolina, North Kakalaki, man. Hey, we're down there. We got to talk about barbecue, man. You're a whole hog guy down there with barbecue, man. Are you a vinegar barbecue sauce, right? That's where you're from. That's where you're not eating the sweeter stuff, right?
I mean, we got Sweet Baby Ray's now, too. That's a good one too.
What's your go-to then? What's your go-to meat selection if you were gonna get into the barbecue? Are you going pork? You're going the shoulder.
You gotta get the ribs now.
There you go.
You're ribs now.
So you're a ribs guy.
Yeah, ribs guy.
You can knock down a rack.
Yeah, for sure.
Rack and a half, 2 racks.
Yeah, for sure.
Whole hog.
Not on the new diet.
One of our teammates
John,
here.
not on the new
We
diet.
good. We good.
Going down to 342.
You feel me? But another bonding thing, seeing my teammates do, like we grill and stuff together. Like me and Toby were able to grill with a couple of teammates. So it's pretty cool,
Yeah,
great bonding technique.
That's a large bill there.
It is. As long as all the guys having fun.
They got NIL now. My whole stipend would go to one dinner back then. Now you guys can pay for it. You talked about Coach Henny, Coach Newell, love them. What's it been like playing for Dan Lynn, right? He's a younger defensive coordinator. In your opinion, I know it's been a short time during spring, but what separates him from other defensive coordinators?
Really his mindset. I feel like the way he breaks down the play calling and stuff with us, he breaks it down enough to a point to where everyone can understand it in each way. Because you have your visual learners, you have the learners that can take stuff from the board straight to the field, and then you have the freshmen that are still trying to take everything in. And he breaks it down well enough to a point to where everyone can, understand everything the way they would be comfortable understanding.
And that's been the most consistent answer we always get, the way he relates to the players, which is huge. He's a younger coach. He's a player's coach, and you love that.
He's going to understand you ain't going to get all the calls easy and remember everything. So he's open with that, and he's helping. He's trying his best to make it easy.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
How about the other side of the line of scrimmage? Who have you been battling with this spring? What are we looking like in the interior offensive line?
The whole line room is great. I love how everyone's working. Even some of our walk-on guys, they just work hard, and I love it. And really, I'm getting competition all across the board, from the smallest guy to the biggest guy on there. They're giving me their best, and it's helping me work and play lower, and use my hands even more. So I'm really getting a good rep out of everyone.
Quick one for me. What's your best pass rush move? We know you can stop the run. That big body, I know you can stop the run. What's your best pass rush move?
I'll say my best pass rush. I got a good swim move.
Okay,
I got
like
a good
that.
You got a sack dance? What's the sack celebration?
I got a lot of celebrations.
Let's go.
A lot of plays there. A lot of plays.
Can't wait to see those.
I'm getting uncomfortable right now between these two defensive linemen, man. I'm a former quarterback.
Love the D-line talk. Good meeting you, Ja. We will see you out there this fall. Don't wait until game time to plan for retirement. Open your free iTrust Capital account today and get your crypto IRA. iTrust Capital is the official cryptocurrency platform of the USC Trojans. We got a national champion up next. Is Madison White at beach volleyball coming up on Trojans Live.
LA USC Trojan Media Network. Presented by Pechanga Resort Casino.
Once again, with Sean Cody and Cody Kessler, back to Jordan Moore.
Our Women's Spotlight is brought to you by Sprouts Farmers Market, open 7 days a week. Visit your neighborhood Sprouts for good-for-you groceries and great prices on the freshest produce. Our Women's Spotlight is on Maddie White and USC Beach Volleyball, one of our great programs here. 4-time consecutive national champions. Lots to defend, but really a new crew here for the most part outside of Maddie. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Cody Kessler. What has this season been like? You know, you came into a real machine and established group that was always trying to sort of defend and build on their legacy, and now it's sort of flipped this year. You're starting anew a little bit.
Yeah, coming in this year being a captain, it's a new role for me, obviously. This previous years, we've had amazing leadership on the team. We always have this amazing core group of leaders, and this year we actually have no true seniors. So we only have our junior class, and then we have some grad students who provide experience on the court, but not necessarily the same level of experience with this program. So it's been a learning experience, but it's also been really great to take a step back and just be so grateful for these previous years and realize like what it honestly takes for us to get back there. And I know we can do it, but I think it's been awesome to go through that adversity because it's really taught me personally what it takes to be a champion. Yeah,
take us through those highs and lows of the season. Obviously, it can't always be perfect, and you got to go through some learning lessons. What has this season been like, and where are you guys at, and what are you guys looking forward to doing?
Yeah, I mean, we've dealt with some adversity this season, whether it be injuries, illness, and that's pretty natural. We always have to deal with those things, but this year specifically, we've really fought to keep some consistency. We've changed lineups a lot, and we've had to deal with new partnerships, new people coming in and out of the lineup quite often. So dealing with that has meant that we have to just be ready to go day of. We play usually 4 matches in a weekend, 2 each day, so the lineup can change every single match. So being ready for whatever means that we're ultimately even more prepared than other teams because we just go out there and we try to win no matter what the conditions are. And I think that's honestly a strength of ours this year compared to previous years. Previous years, we've been much more comfortable. Our partnerships haven't shifted as much. We haven't made as many changes and had as many people pushing for higher spots in the lineup. And I think this year that has kind of enabled us to be even hungrier when we step out.
Yeah.
Kind of sticking with that, and I've always been curious, what makes a great pair in beach volleyball? How important is it for you to always be on the same page with your partner?
It's super important. If you can't communicate well with your partner, I think it's just a recipe for disaster. It's very important, especially because you don't always have a coach. Sometimes we play in what our coach likes to call a blitz, where all 5 pairs are playing at once, and we can only have 3 coaches. So 2 of you are left without a coach, and you have to be able to communicate, even with tough times. Even if you're losing, you're down 5 points, you have to know when to call a timeout. There's no coach there calling a timeout. So I think it's really unique in that sense because we really have to know how to coach and regulate ourselves and communicate even when we're struggling or when our partner is struggling, or else you can be feeling like you're on an island and the duel and the match can go by really quickly if you can't communicate.
You're playing with Zoe Henson, who's a new partner for you this year. Did you guys do anything, sort of off the beach to build that relationship, or how do you create both that chemistry on the court and then tactically is sort of another side of that question too, because ultimately you want sort of a pair that has different roles out there.
Yeah, I think we obviously do a lot off the court. One big thing we do is we work with sports psychology a lot. And one big thing in sports psychology we do is we talk about something called twinship. And it's a lot about partner communication and what each person needs from the other person. So we talk
mental
about
telepathy?
I wish we could read each other's minds, but no. So we talk about how we can best support them. Like when you're getting targeted, when you're getting every serve and the game feels like it's on your back, how can I best help you succeed? How can I best set you up for success? And like that really helps us know each other better and really get inside each other's brains and a little bit more and know, because every single person is so different. Some people really need you to support them and give them praise no matter what, and just tell them the next point is ours, and just have that ultimate positivity, whereas other people need more tactical discussion. Like, if we run this play, I know we can get this side out. If we run this play, I know we can get a pickup. She's hitting high line every time. So sometimes it just looks like that. And I know for me personally, I like a little bit of both. So just talking with each other and letting each other know what we need when times are tough, because those times are always going to come. The other teams are just getting better and better every year. I can attest to that. The depth is huge in the sport now. So it's really important to have that when you don't have a coach in the box that's there to help that.
Talk about your game a little bit. Obviously, in beach volleyball, you got to be really well-rounded. You got to kind of know all the positions and play well, whereas at indoor, you can kind of be specialized. What are some of your strengths as a player?
Yeah, definitely. I have played. It's obviously doubles. There's two people out in the court. One is typically a blocker, one's typically a defender, although we've always had some people who split blocks, so you do both. But personally, I've done all three. So for me, it's really like out there. I know I'm confident doing whatever I need to do, and my partner, Zoe, is great. She'll do whatever she needs to do. And so for me, it's knowing like I've gotten super confident. My coach has worked with me day in, day out with blocking, and I feel super duper confident in that now. And
boom!
Yes, every time. So
you still have a technique right there, right over the net.
It was perfect. Yeah, the pressing was great. Our head coach Dane would be very proud.
We've worked on it. Me and Dane.
Yes.
Me and Dane have worked on it.
He's a volleyball dad now.
Okay, awesome.
Dad, so.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So I mean, working on the little techniques every day is always my focus, and I think also with your partner, working on how you can best set them and how they can best set you has really helped us in running a unique offense. We've even mixed in some trick plays where we fake one direction, go the other way to hit a ball. And I think there's a lot of unique things we've incorporated. And I think those are really helping elevate my game this year.
We'll use them all to beat UCLA on Thursday. Mapes Beach, is that what they call their beach? It's on,
yes.
Is it on campus?
It is on campus, yes.
It sounds stupid. I don't like it. They'll take on UCLA, and then, then it's off. They'll keep going. You guys are always on the road, but ultimately on the road, hopefully to a fifth consecutive national championship. So good luck with that. Want the inside scoop on this game and all things Trojans? Be sure to sign up for the 3 Torches presented by Smart and Final. It's a free newsletter that hits your email inbox 3 times a week with game info, player insights, and more. Go to usctrojans.com/3torches and sign up. And Monster Energy Drink is the official energy drink partner of USC. Tear into a can of the meanest energy drink on the planet. Monster Energy, unleash the beast. We're talking tennis with Emmy Haddad next on Trojans Live.
It's SoCalSoEasy.com.
USC Trojan Media Network, presented by Pechanga Resort Casino.
Once again, with Sean Cody and Cody Kessler, back to Jordan Moore.
USC fans win a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home in Temecula Valley. Play slots or table games at Pechanga Resort Casino through May 30. To earn entries, visit Pechanga.com or call 888-PECHANGA for details. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Cody Kessler, Immi Haddad now. USC women's tennis sophomore coming to us from London. Last week we had a men's tennis player from Barcelona. Now we've got you. A lot of European imports. What brought you all the way to USC?
The weather.
Yeah, well, it's definitely better than London.
That's it. Yeah.
You could have just checked the Apple weather app and figured that one out.
No, I mean, I knew I was coming to the States regardless to play tennis, but I took a bunch of visits and just loved USC the most.
Tell us about your tennis game. Let's get some insight into Immi's tennis extravaganza. Forehands, backhands, strengths, weaknesses. Tell us about the game.
Lots of forehands, not many backhands.
Okay.
Well, maybe you're American. That's the American way to play.
That is true. Pretty aggressive, fairly aggressive. Try to
aggressive being getting up on that net. Is that what we're talking about? Aggressive. What's aggressive then?
Like hitting the ball hard.
Okay.
Nobody goes to the net anymore.
Yeah,
Sean.
I'm trying to work on it, but it's not quite there yet.
Okay.
But yeah, generally hitting the ball quite well, trying to move the ball and
putting some pace on it.
Yeah.
There we go. Like that works.
You mentioned you already knew you were coming to the States. How does that work, the recruiting process, being an international, athlete? How does USC start recruiting you? Do you send tape to them? Do they come out and take a look at you? How does that all go about?
Yeah, I mean, originally I had an agent from home who works with these, who works with a load of people from the UK trying to come to college, and they sent tape to a load of different coaches, but also the tournaments I was playing at, like the junior Grand Slams, like Wimbledon, and big tournaments in the US. Like, there are generally a lot of college coaches that are watching, so they just kind of see, and if they like you, they'll reach out to you.
And you won. Didn't you play with Lily Fairclough, right? At one point as a junior. So did that play a factor as well? Are you guys the same age? Or is she a little bit older?
No, we came in together.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you guys were a package deal?
Not really.
Okay.
Although we can say we were.
Yeah.
But yeah, I committed first, and then I definitely reached out to Lily about the school, and we spoke about it, and I want to say I convinced her to come, but I'm not sure she would agree.
That's awesome.
Your high school is called Enjoy Education. Do you enjoy education?
No.
Why is it called that?
I think they try to make
aspirational.
Yeah.
What did you come up in a tennis academy situation like our friend from Barcelona last week, or is that like a real school?
No, it's a real school. Not so much a tennis academy. There's tennis players who do it, but it's also very much for like non-athletes as well. But
are you saying the Rafa Nadal is not a real school?
I am saying it's a
vocational
vocational
talk about you
school.
on his podcast.
I wish Rafa
school.
Nadal would talk about me. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, sorry. He's not. Yes. No, I'd never heard of a school called Enjoy Education before, but it
Very
sounds
enjoyable.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Singles and doubles. I've seen some success in the singles game, some success in the doubles. What do you prefer? A little bit of both. You like mixing it in? What's the story there?
I don't play doubles.
No doubles?
No.
That's a lie. You've played doubles this season.
Okay, but only because we were missing a player.
Oh,
Well,
I saw the win. I saw
You're
I saw
capable.
the wins. I saw the wins.
See, you have to understand. You just shook him. He was like, "Oh my God, my research is
Get off
bad.
that.
I'm totally." So I have to at least defend in the fact that you do play doubles. You're just saying you don't enjoy it or
No, I do
specialize in
enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot, but this semester my focus has been on singles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, got the tennis stuff out of the way. Let's get to the important stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So from England,
Yes.
coming over to the United States, who has better food, would you say? And there's always that debate. And I also got to know, and I've asked you a little bit earlier, but do you put beans on your toast?
Okay, I think London has the best food in the world.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But London
Okay.
is a cosmopolitan
Yes.
city, so it's not British food. It's just an incredible food city. But their best food is Indian,
Okay, maybe.
which is great. But It's just so people out there know.
Well,
also, Cody is so out of his depth asking a food question. I can't even believe this is happening.
Why? Why am I?
I'm just saying on this panel, honestly, the Vegas wouldn't even put the odds on the board for you to ask
My wife at home has us watching Love Island.
I thought you were going to ask about Love Island.
Well, I was going to ask about Love Island, but I've learned all my food questions from watching Love Island about cheese toasties.
Do they eat?
Beans on toast.
I don't think we ever see them eat.
Yeah, you do all the time. They say cheese toasties all the time. And everyone's eating cheese toasties.
Don't do the accent.
Okay, that was pretty bad. Okay, let me ask you this since we're running out of time, and me and Sean were talking about this. Tell me the perfect tea. How do you make your tea?
I have just English breakfast, black.
No milk.
No milk.
I thought we were going to get some clip quality,
Yeah, no, I have nothing for you there.
No tea, no lemon.
Is there a time of day you enjoy, or just the morning? Just wake up and drink some tea.
Wake up and
first
have
thing.
some tea, yeah.
You still do that here?
No.
Is the dream to play Wimbledon? Would that be the dream?
Yeah, I mean, I played in the junior event,
Yeah.
which is, I guess, a mock of the real thing. Like you play on the same
it's
courts.
coming up, yeah.
For sure, but the dream would definitely be to play in the real thing in the main draw.
Do you play in grass courts growing up?
There's so many over the UK. I mean, they're massive because of Wimbledon. So
Yeah.
a lot of my junior tournaments when I was younger were on grass.
So do you prefer grass then?
Yeah,
Okay, so that's the number one.
it's the best.
Oh, we don't even have them over here. I
No.
mean, probably a couple places do,
Yeah.
but that's it, yeah. Well, it's wonderful to have you. I apologize
Fantastic.
as always
This is my favorite interview.
for my
ever.
coworkers. I can't do anything about them, but thank you so much. And
You play triples? You don't play triples?
we're just going to move on to the next segment. Fight on, Trojans Live.
Thank you.
Media
It's almost
Network. Presented by
Again, with Sean Cody and Cody Kessler. Back to Jordan Moore.
One final segment of Trojans Live on a Monday night. Jordan Moore, Sean Cody, Cody Kessler, Keeley, you're back with you. Sean's headed from here to the Dodgers game. He has his entire family here in Dodger blue. Do you want to
introduce them one by one? Or
please do.
No, I'm not. They're not. No, they don't get any camera time.
Got it.
They're going to the Dodger game already. That's.
You want to give your Dodgers preview? They've been struggling lately.
Yeah, you know, I mean it's baseball, man. We got 150.
Keeley like that. Keeley heard that.
Yes.
Angels have been all right.
All right, I'll take it. That's the bar's low, Jordan.
Yanks can't pitch. Cody, you have a baseball team?
Yeah, I'm a Dodgers fan. Right? I mean, we were.
Right, he asked you for confirmation.
I don't know. You tell me.
I was talking so much trash last year in the World Series.
I don't know what people from Bakersfield do.
We watched.
No
we
one
watched
does,
Dodger
Cody.
baseball, and then we come to USC and don't go back. We go back to visit though. Bakersfield, I love you guys. I did not mean that, but yeah, we try to get out of there, and then we go back and see everybody for a couple days, and then we go to a Dodger game.
The over-under is presented by Pechanga Resort Casino, proud partner of USC Athletics. I'm going to start with a trivia question. I'll be impressed if any of you can get this one. Can you name the last USC Trojan to have 100 tackles in a season?
Cam Smith.
Can we get the year?
Cam Smith is a good guess. He has done it.
Thanks for me.
He is not the most recent one. He is the second most recent.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Wow. Okay, so it's not Easton Mascarenas Arnold because
Easton had 95.
Yeah, he wouldn't
season.
ask that.
Oh,
so after Cam Smith,
Cam and now
this is tough though because I was.
Oh, you're checked out. You were saying you were checked
I was still playing at that time.
Checked out.
I wasn't. Do you count Kanai
as a human being?
Oh yeah. No, sorry.
Sure.
I'm getting my rosters confused.
Anything he did for USC would count. He does not fit the description.
Got it. Never mind.
Cam Smith was also at the alumni.
He might have led the team in tackles one season. He might have been on the list, but it wasn't 100.
He was a tweener. I think that's why I asked.
This guy was called a little bit of a tweener. John Houston Jr.
Oh, really?
That came to mind.
Did it?
John Houston had 100?
He didn't have the confidence to throw it out, though.
But that felt like before Cam Smith a little bit.
They played together.
They did, but
John played after.
Inherited, yeah.
I thought it was
okay. I think I played with John Houston for a year before.
What?
I left. Wasn't he a freshman? My
time is a flat circle.
Yeah, wow.
He was coming in. Either way, that's what I was going to say too, Q. John Houston. Yeah,
totally.
Tip of my tongue.
Everyone had the right answer.
Yeah,
we
had
didn't want to share it in the
Jordan going
trivia time.
So I won.
Sure.
Okay.
Under 90 tackles for USC's top tackler in 2025. Is there a guy on this team that you think is going to get volume tackles?
Yeah, I'm
going
going
Ramsey.
Okay, I like that. I'm going Eric Gentry over, and I'm going 10 tackles for loss as well.
Well, last year I think we started talking about 20 tackles for loss.
Yeah, I got to see a little sample size, but yeah, I'm going over, and I think he's going to be a problem this year.
Yeah, I would say over. Especially we just talked about the depth issues with linebacker. Well, now you're going to have someone probably get majority of the share of the role. So
it just seemed like it's a certain type of linebacker, and I'm not sure that these guys are that. I'd be curious to see because you immediately jump to safety, which I think sort of triggers kind of what I'm talking about. Like, is Eric Gentry the kind of guy that gets 100 tackles?
Yeah, it might be a little wear and tear on Eric Gentry.
When he plays outside sometimes, he's not necessarily like that, classic middle linebacker.
More splash play guy that you want creating havoc kind of guy than just accumulating tackles, I think.
He's an every down guy, though. That's why I think he does a great job in nickel. He does a great job in base. We saw how physical he was last year, but don't sleep on Desmond Stevens. I'm telling you, he could be close to that 90.
Yep.
Not sleeping, but we are leaving. Thanks to everyone involved for putting on Trojans Live. We got one more to go this spring. Until then, fight on, everybody.